But before we talk to some of you, because we need to talk to some people who have called in with some commonsensical opinions, let me explain to you about the latest craze which has been going on. You might have heard of an organisation called the Tyre Extinguishers, right? These are people who go around basically, and it was something that happened a few months back. There was a bit of a flood of activity. People who are, of course, eco-warriors, who want to save the planet, who are fed up with people driving around in cars, because people do have cars in a modern economy in order to get from point A to point B, to take their children to school, sometimes to take the groceries home, sometimes to take the dog to the beach. That's what I use my car for sometimes. Also to get from work to home, or from home to work, or from the hospital where you're visiting your elderly mother to home. That sort of thing, you know, because in most parts of this country there simply are no suitable forms of public transport as alternatives. So you basically have to drive. But there's a woman who doesn't wish to be named, who's given an interview to one of the newspapers today. She's 62 years of age. She lives in West London, in Chelsea, believe it or not, which is a rather ritzy part of the world. She has deflated, she says, around about 80 different cars, their tyres. And here's a picture of her, if you're watching it now, of her doing it. She's fed up with the fact that people drive around in great big cars. She says she started doing it around about 10 years ago because she was fed up with the fact that smart cars were not going to be the future, that too many people were buying bigger and bigger cars, and she basically says that it's payback for polluting her neighbourhood. I mean, who do these people think they are? Apart from the fact that it's criminal damage and it is a crime to interfere with somebody else's property, she doesn't care. She says that SUV drivers are selfish and aggressive, that they should be treated like smokers, that driving cars like that should be banned, similarly as smoking was banned indoors, right? She's a mother of 3 children. She's been interviewed by this newspaper. She's admitted to the fact that she's been caught in the act by some owners who she says have all said that they understand why she's doing it. Well, I don't think I'd be very understanding if I caught her trying to get air out of my tyre. She says that she works in the film business. She lives near Battersea, which is just across the river from Chelsea. Now, she says, I don't enjoy doing it, but it's an extreme reaction that comes from desperation. If the government won't do anything, then what else can we do? Well, as Julie Hartley-Brewer said earlier, if you want to run for Parliament, if you want to run for office and you want to get some kind of mandate to ban cars, then run as the Tyre Extinguishing Party and see how many votes you get. I'd be surprised if it makes double figures. But this is not the Britain that we should be living in. Meanwhile, we've got the Just Stop Oil Brigade and the Insulate Britain mob sitting down on the streets of London again, because it is half-term after all. You know, here they are, somewhere in the city of London, holding up traffic, annoying the hell out of people. It's got to stop this. We seem to be living in a dual sort of universe. People who have no sense of reality whatsoever, who really do honestly believe that the earth is dying when it isn't, and people who are willing to go to prison and then complain about the fact that they're in prison because they continue to do the same criminal damage time after time after time. There's something very wrong with these people. I'm sorry. I think they should be given some form of help, perhaps, because they are deluded in the extreme. And if somebody's letting tyres down, which is a criminal offence, it's also very dangerous, by the way, because if a heavy car sits on a rim without any air in the tyre, that can damage the wheel, which in turn can make the car crash. So it's an incredibly irresponsible thing to do. I think this woman needs to be stopped. I think she needs to be stopped now. It's simple.